how to make songs like hers. So before we start, I'd like to clarify that I'm no musical genius. I have no music theory background, but I can say by learning some of her songs, have noticed and realized some things that Steven would do on the guitar quite frequently, and I feel like that's what really kind of got then that sound, that her sound. So I thought I'd be able to share this with you guys of some things that I had noticed, and I think it would help you in the end to make some songs of your own with that hers influence. So with that being said, I've got 5 things that I feel that would help you guys get that her sound. And the first one would be leaving room for the open strings. So when you do like an E major, the open strings are obviously the ones that you actually aren't pressing on. So that would be the 6th string, 2nd string, and the 1st string. So those 3 strings kind of already sounds like an E. So now that we know what open strings are, let's do another chord. So what Steven did was he left the main notes there. So that would be the group and the other 2 that make up that chord. But instead of borrowing the whole fret, you take it up and it'll still have those main notes. So from this to the open strings. And your open strings in this chord would be the 3rd string and the 1st string. So right there you can already hear the difference. And actually that chord is in underamps. So let's look at another example. The outro to Speed Racer. So the first example would be not leaving room for open strings, and the second one would be leaving room for the open strings. So let's try. So don't get me wrong, that sounds great, but what Steven did is, again, he would just leave room for that open string. So instead of doing that full bar, you would do this number, and he'd call that the claw. He left he left room for that open string. So from this to this, then you move down to that E, and then for that 3rd chord, instead of doing that full A major bar, you leave room for the open strings. So let's try that again, and let's leave room for the open strings this time. So right there, you can already hear that difference, and it's instantly recognizable once you hear that. And that's the first step. So leaving room for the open strings. And the second one would be the capo. So a lot of people underestimate the capo, but once you use it, you'll probably never go back. So if you're making your own song, it kind of depends on how you want it to sound. But the capo just kind of acts as this part of the guitar. So with no capo, just imagine a capo right there. So when you do an E, it's kind of like that capo is right there. But if you want to bring it up, all those open strings are still up here with that capo. So what a capo would do would just bring those open strings and make it sound nice. So again, that all just depends on if you want, or what key you want the song in to be, or just how you want it to sound, really. So you don't need to use a capo, but what hers did, they use it quite frequently, so they can get higher up the fret with it still sounding nice. So for example, I'll try. So right here, it's already an example of that first step, which is leaving room for the open strings. You can hear that open. And the third step, well, that's the second step. So the first one, again, was leaving room for the open strings. Second one is the usage of the capo. And the third one would be taking your time. So when you're making your own song, sometimes we can get stuck with what kind of chord progressions we want to use. When you take your time, start with one note, one by one, and see which one you like. That sounds good with it. Taking one note at a time. So right there, we already have 3 steps being involved in just this one part. So we got the usage of the open strings, we got the capo, we were taking our time making that little chord right there. And then again, just repeat that same process. Yourself a progression whenever you take your time with each note and how you want it to sound. And I feel like that's, of course, Steven and Audun have that, music brain, but you can definitely tell that they took time with their music. So that is the third step. So again, we have leaving room for open strings. Second, we have the capo. Third would be taking your time. And the fourth one would be making sure that the vocals and the guitar are in unity. So for example, let's do Manny Smile. So right there, he's singing that and has those chords. And he loved this chord, by the way, minors, in the minor 9s. That was kind of like his go-to, if you wanted to match it with his vocals. And we got Harvey. And then we got Manny Smile. Right there. So, and of course, it doesn't really have to be that exact chord. So yeah, that is one thing he did. And just making sure that what you're playing matches your vocals with the guitar. But again, it kind of just all depends with what or how you want your song to sound like. And the fifth one, move on to the fifth one, would be your pinky usage. He is a genius at this. Let's see, we have a couple of examples here. Let's see what I can think of. Love on the Line. That's all his pinky doing that melody work. These fingers aren't even moving, it's just the pinky. Right here. He uses pinky quite a lot. And Manny Smile again. See that right there? And his pinky. His pinky again. So he used that a lot. And yeah, you'll definitely be able to get that her sound when you use your pinky, because that's all he really did. So yeah, so whenever you apply all those, you have your open strings and you took time with your progression, you'll be able to make a lot more of a melodic progression if you do take your time with it and how you want it to sound. See right there, we got the minor, Steve's favorite. So in my head, I'm singing that. I took time making your chords. I did this chord prior to the video, but I just did each note See what I had wanted? Okay. It's right there. And again, and that's what I'm seeing in my head, and that's what the guitar is doing. It's following. So you can already hear that Her's influence in there when we add those 5 steps. And when you do add all those 5 steps, and for that pinky usage, first we'll play without our pinky, and the second time we'll play with our pinky. So that sounds good, but when you add your pinky, you can make it sound a lot more full, and definitely give it more of that Hearst sound and make it spicier. So let's play it again by using our pinky. Right there, that sounds a lot better. And you can just, you can be flexible with it, what you want the song to sound like. Again, when we apply that unity with the vocals, so this is what I'm seeing in my head, or how I would like it to go. So it's fairly simple once you don't really overthink it. I know that's hard, or I know that's easier said than done, but you just take the time, realize what you'd want for the song. And when you apply those 5 steps, you'll definitely be able to make something with a great Her's influence. So with that being said, I'll show you guys something that I made when I applied those 5 things, and yeah. This video was helpful to you, and again, these are just some things that helped me, and some things that I've noticed with Steven's playing. And yeah, just remember to have some fun with it. Just be patient with yourself, and you'll definitely be able to come up with something. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and that is it.